And then Kathy, sorry. We listened to O Canada being sung. I'm good? Okay. Good morning, afternoon, and we're getting started just a little bit late here, but we would like to welcome everyone to the special board meeting of October 16th of the Livingstone Range School Division Trustees. I'm calling this meeting to order at 1:05 today. I would like to acknowledge that we have our new trustee here, Kathy Charchin, and also acknowledge that Trustee Toon is joining us via Zoom today. You may not see him on the Google Meet, but he is joining via device on Zoom and is here with us as well. So we would like to have our land acknowledgement by Trustee Hodges.
Oki, welcome to our division office located on the traditional land and territory of the Nisitsippi, Piikani, Kainai, and Siksika, the Blackfoot people, within the Treaty 7 region of southern Alberta.
Thank you so much. And if you could now all stand for the singing of O Canada.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Okay, thank you so much to Zoe Nelson from FP Walsh singing O Canada for us. So, all right, we will move on to our oath of office. So we are so excited to have a new trustee here joining us, and we want to thank all of those who put their name forward and prioritized education, and we appreciate all of those who took place in the by-election. So Section 75 of the Education Act states that every trustee shall take and subscribe to the official oath prescribed by the Oaths of Office Act before commencing their trustee duties, and deposit the oath with the Secretary of the Board, Mr. Jeff Perry, Associate Superintendent of Business Services. Will have trustee-elect Kathy Charchin take the oath of office and complete the disclosure of information. So we'll turn it over to Mr. Perry to take care of that now.
Thank you, Chair. I have a document here that has the oath, and we will have Kathy read this out loud and sign it, and then I will sign as a witness, and we'll file this with in the records of the board.
I, Kathy Charchin, swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the law the office of School Trustee for Livingstone Range School Division. So help me God.
So I will just congratulate Kathy on being the newest sworn-in trustee for the Board of Livingston Range School Division. The other part of the agenda item is a disclosure information. I have given that information to Kathy, which comes out of Section 86(1) of the Education Act. She has completed that, and I will put that information together and along with the information that the rest of the board members have provided when they were sworn in, and provide a copy of that to each of the individuals. So that's it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Perry. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, congratulations and welcome, Trustee Charchin. Excellent. Okay, so we'll move on to item C, emergent changes to the agenda. The recommendation is that the October 16th, 2023 special board meeting agenda be approved by the Board of Trustees as presented or amended. Sorry about that. Can I get someone to make this motion? Trustee Yegas? Okay, and are there any emergent changes? Seeing none. All in favor? Okay, that is carried. We'll move to conflict of interest. The declaration of conflict of interest states that the Board of Trustees declare if they have any conflict of interest related to agenda items from October 16th, 2023 special board meeting, and if so, should declare them now. Are there any conflict of interest among the trustees? Seeing none, we will move to our item E, our in-camera. We'll be moving in camera for labor. So the recommendation is that the Board of Trustees go in camera at 1:12. Can I get someone to make that motion, please? Trustee Long. And we will move in camera at this time. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. So we had a motion to come out of camera by trustee Gibber at 1:23. And we are now back to our special meeting action item E. E1 is CAS professional membership fees. With the implementation of the CASA Act, CAS membership is now mandatory for superintendents in Alberta and therefore a job requirement. The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees pay the CAS professional membership fees for the superintendent for the 2023-2024 and 2024-2025 school years. This is being made by me. And so I will recuse myself as chair and turn, unless there's another trustee that wants to chair this section, I will ask that Mr. Perry take over. Okay, I'm seeing none. Then I will turn it over to Mr. Perry and let Mr. Perry know also that Trustee Toon has his hand up.
Okay, I will first go to the mover of the motion. Trustee Poitras, would you like to speak to it?
I would, thank you. So last year, we voted in favor of paying our superintendent's CAS fees, as it is now required by law, for him to be a CAS member if he would like to be a superintendent in this province. We also pay all membership fees for our associate superintendents and as BOA fees for our associate superintendent of business services. When we passed this motion last year, it also said in the motion that this would be added to our work list in September. And the copy of the work list that I added it to is not the copy that we currently use. So when myself and the vice chair and the superintendent made our September meeting, we did not include this. So that was because I, as chair, had not added it to the right copy, and then we missed it. So as the role of the chair and the vice chair is to ensure that the work of the board moves forward and is getting done, we had this special meeting being called and thought we should get it done as soon as possible, and that is why we added it to the board special meeting and ask that you guys, consider voting in favor of paying these CAS fees as it is a mandatory cost for our superintendent. Thank you, Mr. Perry.
Thank you, Trustee Poitras. Trustee Toon, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I would bring a motion to table this item till our next regular board meeting.
Okay, Trustee Toon has put a motion to postpone to the next regular board meeting. Okay.
Yes, correct.
Okay, postponement is debatable, so would you like to speak to that, Trustee Toon?
Yes, thank you. Appreciate the chair sharing the rationale on why it came to the special meeting. I think in light of transparency, I think that this should be done at a regular public board meeting. This is something that we had great discussion on last time and approved it. And I think that this isn't something that is emergent, that it doesn't need to be done at a special meeting where it might not get seen by everyone, and everyone didn't get notice that they typically would have, being part of an agenda package that the public could see and witness. And it's that's the rationale on why I'd like to see it come to a regular public board meeting.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Toon. Is there anyone that has comments, or Trustee Long, and then Trustee Long first?
Yeah, not to belittle our stakeholders, but I'm not sure that there would be a great number of people out there concerned about whether we're paying our superintendent's CAS membership or not. So the fact that it's public is, as far as I'm concerned, is good enough. If good enough's not a very good way of putting it, I would say is proper procedure, and we should go ahead with it.
Thank you, Trustee Long. I have Trustee Yeagas first.
Sorry, I just had this muted, and so Trustee Toon didn't hear. So just to recap, Trustee Toon, I just wanted to let you know that Trustee Long said that.
Why don't we let Trustee
Yeah,
Long say it
okay,
again?
sorry, Trustee Long, will you just say that one more time?
Yes, I said, I'm not sure that our stakeholders overall, and a large majority, are going to be concerned about whether we pay the superintendent's CAS membership or not. So it is a public meeting. It is available to anybody to watch. And the special meeting should be good enough. We're following proper procedure. And I think that we're already past due dealing with this, that we should deal with it today.
Thank you, Trustee Long. We'll go to Trustee Yeagas.
I agree with Trustee Long. I think we have debated this last year to a large extent, and I think we should pay these fees. I don't think we need to go on and keep moving this on. So I would like to see this moved and passed on today. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Yeagas. So we're talking about whether we postpone or not. And, is there any other additional comments or questions in relation to the postponement? Trustee Hodges.
Are we doing live feed now, or are we being recorded and then it'll be uploaded? So we are live feeds, just like our regular meeting. Sorry, I'm cutting out. Is that better? So it's just like a regular board meeting then? Okay, that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Hodges. Trustee Gimber.
We've had some lively discussion in the past about things that are emergent or not, and I don't know if this actually fits the bill as being emergent and something that can't wait for another 10 days. So I would say postpone it.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Gimber. Trustee Toon. Okay, we'll go with Trustee Toon first, and then Trustee Poitras.
Okay, go ahead, Trustee Toon.
No, just would like an opportunity to close when everyone else is finished. Thank you.
Okay, so just in, I guess, discussing whether or not it is emergent, which is why we would be postponing, or it's not being postponed because it's not emergent, but because it would be more public. So the reason we discussed putting it on the September is because that is when it is billed out and then expected to be paid. So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it was September 12th that you received your invoice for this, and then it needs to be paid, as well as everyone else's fees are being paid by the division and the other memberships. And so that's why we decided it should be approved in September, and so that that didn't have to come out of pocket and then be reimbursed or anything like that. So, sorry, I don't know if Daryl wanted to jump in there, but then also.
I can clarify, yes. It was September 21st that the invoice arrived, and that was for all of us in division office, and so the others have been paid.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Trustee Hodges. No, Trustee Hodges.
That's okay. Just a question, is there any kind of extra fee on top of it if it's not paid on time? Are you charged interest or anything like that, or do you know if that?
I don't see anything, I'm not aware that there would be, although the fall general meeting is November 1st. So I imagine they would like payment before you attend and vote and be part of the membership, fall general meeting membership.
Okay, Trustee Gimber.
Hello. There we go. Okay, I won't move. Okay, so my question was the same as Trustee Hodges. I was wondering if there was what the due date, because I know the bill came for September 21st, but what is the due date for the bill? Was there any fees if it wasn't paid in time? And does your membership actually expire on a certain day, or would it carry on, but the payment just isn't made?
Do you want me to answer?
Well, it is an annual fee. And as I mentioned, the Cass Fall Conference, that includes the annual fall meeting, is November 1st to the 3rd is the Cass Fall Conference. And so I don't know. I've never been in that position where I haven't paid the fees and then tried to attend the conference. I've registered, but I'm not sure if I haven't paid the fees, whether I would actually be allowed to attend, because this is a very unique situation. All the other superintendents in the province have the CAS membership fee paid for by the board. It's just part of the way things have operated up in this throughout the province and in the school division up until a couple of years ago.
Thank you for that clarification, Superintendent Seguin. Trustee Yegas, would you like to say something?
There was a mention of this being emergent. This isn't emergent. This is a special meeting. We got the agenda on time. It was on the agenda so we could all think of it. There's nothing emergent about this. I can see no reason to put this off until another date. It should be paid. I can't, this is being to the public, and there is, we're following all of the things that we need to follow in order to make this transparent.
Thank you, Trustee Yegas. Trustee Poitras, sorry.
Thank you. I guess just that other piece is, I have no doubt that Daryl will just pay it and then have to go through the headache of getting it reimbursed if it does pass, and we are going to pay for it, because we have a superintendent who plays by the rules and follows, and he must be a CAS member to be a superintendent in our province. So if there's any chance that, this isn't going to get paid by us by November 1st or whatever, I'm sure that he would pay it. But, I think we have a great relationship with our superintendent. I wouldn't want to put him in that position. So I would just like to vote on this now so that he knows if he needs to pay it or if we will be paying it, and not to leave him in the lurch anymore. Like Trustee Yiga said, we put this on a special meeting. It's not an emergent item. It didn't just come up today. It's been on here for at least a week when we sent it out. So yeah, so that's why I would vote against postponing it.
Okay, any additional comments? If not, we will let Trustee Toon close. Trustee Toon.
Thank you. Appreciate the discussion. Really struggle though with, we delved highly into debate and of the merits of the motion. We didn't stick to whether this should be tabled or not, which according to Robert's Rules of Order and proper procedure, that's what the discussion is supposed to be based on. I don't think it's emergent, and when I sent out the notice to the trustees that I would be requesting that it be tabled at this meeting, I said that was one of the reasons why I don't feel it's emergent. We have a meeting on the 30th, which would be the date before the CAS annual general meeting, and we didn't know those dates, and the trustees that are making this decision didn't know the dates the invoice was sent out. We didn't have all the information, and I think that the notice of a special meeting going to trustees isn't the same as the notice of a regular board meeting, part of the agenda package that anyone in the public or press has the opportunity to look through and contact trustees and ask questions. I'm not debating the merits of paying this. I'm debating the merits of doing this at this time. I think that it should be done in a regular board meeting anytime we talk about contractual things that have affected a previously approved contract, and there hasn't been any rationale on why this is coming at this time for 2 years, when previously just said we discussed this in September. So for those reasons, I'm asking the board to table it, not because of the merits on approving it or not, that it should be done and with the most transparency and a higher level of accountability. And putting it, the optics that could be seen as putting it in a special meeting to kind of push it through, and which I don't think that is the board's intention of all at all.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Toon. Okay, so we will now call the question with regards to the postponement of this agenda item. So I will read the motion once again. It says, motion to table item to next regular board meeting, October 30th. That was moved by Trustee Toon. If you vote in favor of this, then it would be to move the agenda item to October 30th. If you vote in opposition to this, it would be to go back to the original motion for today. Okay? So I will call the question. All those in favor of postponing this item to the next regular board meeting?
My hand
Okay,
is up.
all those opposed? Okay, so that postponement is defeated. We are back to the original motion, which is that the Board of Trustees pay the CAS professional membership fee for the superintendent for the 2023-24 and 24-25 school years. We've already had Trustee Poitras speak to this. Is there any more questions, comments? If not, oh, sorry, Trustee Hodges.
I just want to, I guess for me, the swinging point on this was that this is something that the superintendent must be part of, and it's mandatory for his job. So I don't think it mattered when it was due or not due. It's a requirement of our school division to help our superintendent and see that he gets everything he needs to do his job, fulfill his job. And so I think that the public would be okay with all that, knowing that we are supporting our superintendent and paying the CAS fees, and so that he can get all the professional development he needs and be able to attend the conferences as needed.
Thank you, Trustee Yegas. Okay, we got Trustee Hodges. My eyesight's getting very bad. Okay, I have Trustee Gimber, and then I have Trustee Charchin. So Trustee Gimber.
Okay, my question is with regards to just making it an annual payment. Why do we have to vote on it every year?
Are you amending the motion? Are you proposing an amendment to the motion?
I'm just looking for clarification.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so when we originally did, anyone else can correct me if I'm wrong, when we originally signed a contract with our superintendent, the membership fees were not included in the contract. They had always been in the past, and when we signed our new one, the board decided not to include the membership fees. However, after that contract was signed, it became mandatory. So CAS became its own professional organization, which they didn't used to be. And once they became a professional organization, it became mandatory for all superintendents in the province of Alberta to have membership in CAS, or they could not hold a superintendent position in Alberta. Once that changed, it was brought back to the table for the first time last year, and the board voted in favor of paying the CAS fees and adding it onto our September work list to be reviewed every year until a new contract is opened. Otherwise, we would have to pull the contract, redo it, send it, all of that. So I guess the short answer is because it wasn't originally included in the contract.
Is that answers the question? Okay, now we have Trustee Charchin. Okay, and then
Superintendent Seguin mentioned that all other school boards in the province are paying for their superintendent, and I would hate for there to be any possibility of perception that we may potentially not value our superintendent to pay the fees.
thank you, Trustee Charchin. Trustee Toon, I believe, has his hand up.
I would ask to amend the motion to say for the 2023-2024 school year.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor to amend the current motion to exclude the 24-25. Trustee Poitras.
I would consider that friendly, however, it changes the intent, is that right? So it can't be considered friendly? Okay, perfect.
So I think it's
And
important
sorry,
to,
and
Go ahead.
go ahead,
and
Trustee Toon.
and just a question. I think then we should probably add in when it would be reviewed again, and say that it would be reviewed at the September board meeting in 2024, just so it's clear on when the discussion would come again.
Okay, so on the table, we have an amendment to remove the 24-25 school year and to add that it would be reviewed at the September 2024 board meeting. Okay. Any Trustee Toon, do you want to speak to that amendment?
Yeah, I think this is a great discussion. It gives us an opportunity to share what we value in our superintendent accessing CAST and what the great things that it does. And I think that it's a good governance process to have it be discussed every year. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Toon. Trustee Long, I believe I saw your hand first.
It would be in 24-25 in September, we would have the same trustees voting again. So I'm against this amendment. If the 7 trustees that are here, if the majority of them feel that this association fee should be paid, I see no reason why any of the majority would feel different next year about voting again. So I'm against this. I would vote for the 2 years. I also have a question for Superintendent Seguin, and that is, does the association charge yearly, or is it a 2-year fee?
Yeah, the invoices are sent annually.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any other comments, questions? Trustee Yegas and then Trustee Hodges.
My question is we did not put this within Mr. Sequin's contract. When does your contract come due?
June 30th, 2025.
Okay, so basically what we are doing is that we are approving it for the next 2 years. When his contract comes due, and we'll have to renegotiate his contract, rather than going through this every year. I think I think we should do it for the next what's on the original, and I'm against the amendment too.
Okay, any other comments? Trustee Hodges, yes.
Thank you. I'm gonna agree with Trustee Yegas. I think that having this conversation is great, and it shows that we value our superintendent. I don't think the conversation will change next year. It is mandatory. Again, all other school boards pay the fees. I think that approving them for 2 years is not a bad thing to do. And originally in the original motion, I actually don't think it was put on the work list in the motion, but it just got slipped off. And so I think that we should be paying the fees to the end of the contract, and then we can have that bigger discussion when we renegotiate.
Thank you, Trustee Hodges. Is Trustee Toon wanting to close or comment? He wants to close. When it's appropriate, yeah. Okay, Trustee Gimber.
Okay, so I agree that we'll probably all have the same comments next year, but I did like Trustee Toon's comment about, it's kind of like free advertising for how much we do support our superintendent. So I don't really see any harm in it coming up again next year to be advertised and promoted. So I would be in favor of the amendment.
Okay, any other comments? If not, we'll ask Trustee Toon to close on the amendment.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate comments. I think that it's a great opportunity. As I said previously, the board, when they approved this, they could have said, we're all going to be the same trustees 3 years ago, a year ago for the next 3 years, and approved it for 3 years. But they chose not to do that, and we've seen that there has been change in the board since then. We don't know what can happen in a year with the board, the government, or anything else. I think it's prudent for us to have this discussion yearly, and there isn't justification saying we're going to have the same discussion every year. We have a lot of great discussion here, and we don't put it off and say, hey, we don't want to have a great discussion next year. Let's do it every 2 years.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Toon. So we will now call the question. I will read the amended motion, which says that the Board of Trustees pay the CAS professional membership fee for the superintendent for the 2023-24 school year, reviewed at the September 24 board meeting. If you vote in favor, that you are voting for this motion. If you vote in opposition, then you are voting opposed to removing the 2024-25 portion. So I will call the question. All in favor of the amended motion?
I'm in favor.
Okay, all opposed? That amendment is carried. So the new motion reads as the amendment, and we're back to voting on that. That the Board of Trustees pay the CAS professional membership fee for the superintendent for the 23-24 school year, review it at the September 24 board meeting. Any additional comments? Okay, so we will call the question. Or Trustee Poitras, would you like to pose?
Go ahead, Brad.
My hand is up.
Yeah.
Chair.
Yeah. Trustee Toon's hand was up. Sorry, I didn't see it.
Okay, Trustee Toon.
Thank you. No, again, great discussion, and the chance to have this and say how much we appreciate the work the superintendent does. It was said earlier that we're the only province in the board in the province that wasn't paying the fees, and there was a lot of great rationale and discussion on that recognition that this is an increase in compensation from what the previous contract that was negotiated with the superintendent. I speak in favor of paying the fees. I think that it's a great way to show that we value the work that our superintendent does with CAS, because I know he goes above and beyond what the minimum requirements are of attending a lot of PD and accessing the services there. So I just want to say thank you so much for all that he does.
Okay, we will now call the question. Or Trustee Poitras, did you want to close with anything? Okay, we'll call the question on the amendment, or the amended motion, which is that the Board of Trustees pay the CAS professional membership fee for the superintendent for the 2023-24 school year and review it at the September 2024 board meeting. All in favor? That is carried. And I will turn the chair back to Chair Poitras.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for that discussion and working together to get the wording of that right and support our superintendent with that. At this time, it is 1:52, and we have a recommendation that the Board of Trustees vote in favor of the meeting being adjourned. Can I get someone to make this motion? Trustee Hodges? Okay, Trustee Hodges at 1:52. Are all those in favor? Perfect. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.